Tonight, the trade unions are getting ready to rumble. They're asking you to wear black on Friday to reject the SpeedNet acquisition and calling all unions to protest in front of Cabinet next Tuesday. We'll have details. And the BTO chairman said he invited the independent senators to hear about the deal, but they turned him down. They say they were never invited. Tonight we'll have all sides of this story. Plus, is your running water filthy, or did a Facebook post just cause unnecessary panic? We'll talk to BWSL about sludge in the water. Also, you'll hear from an aquatic ecologist about what he saw on the contaminated stretch of the Belize River. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
Every day, the demand on your business gets higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
One moment, everything is perfect. But life can change in an instant. When the unexpected happens, being insured with ICB changes everything. ICB is here to guide you every step of the way. Life happens fast. Protect yourself with the Insurance Corporation of Belize. For more information, call 224-5328 or 224-5329 or visit icbinsurance.com.
Every payday, your money goes to Social Security. They're supposed to guard it and make sure you have benefits when you retire, but they're not guarding your money. A third of BTL is yours, bought with your money, your contributions.
BTL Board of Directors has agreed to acquire its competitor SpeedNet.
$80 million. Nobody asked you, even though your contributions paid for a third of the company.
Expect to get consultation from the public for something like that?
No, I don't think why. It is a private company. It is a private company.
It's a private company when you ask. But who gets the $80 million? From your national telecom?
$62 million to the Ashcroft Alliance and $18 million to the Britannia family. Michael Ashcroft met with this board in April and he made it clear, don't look at the assets.
Your pensions, your future, and they told you not to look.
I don't want to continue with the discussion with you. I've leaving my position.
They are gambling with your pensions.
Write your story with a home loan from Atlantic Bank. Enjoy competitive interest rates, attractive repayment terms. Also, with every approved loan, you are eligible for a MasterCard credit card. To learn more, visit your nearest Atlantic Bank branch or scan the QR code to apply today. Home is where your story unfolds every day.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
These charter remains aren't from
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Kelso.
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Linda Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you been in the kitchen. Mama going back in there right now. And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep the coffee warm for later.
Where did you know?
I'll try think more what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You to charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 socks and 1 shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with the only Kunko Wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Myers Panel website or social media. Myers going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where might could even change your life as they keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers website or on their social media and Myers going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit myerselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, the SpeedNet acquisition by BTL is still on the table and still dominating the national dialogue. And we can confirm that the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, which has rejected the telecoms consolidation, is gearing up and getting ready to hit the streets. They've announced 2 days of action to protest the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet. First, they're calling on all Belizeans to wear black on Friday, August 14th, as a silent protest. Then, the NTUCB will be organizing a demonstration for Tuesday, August 18th in front of the Sir Edney Kane building in Belmopan. It's timed to coincide with the weekly cabinet meeting when ministers are scheduled to take a final decision on the SpeedNet acquisition. The NTUCB is calling on all sister unions and the public to join them in these protest actions. According to our reports, the BNTU Council of Management has agreed to protest with the NTUCB, but they first have to consult with their membership. The invite that never was, or at least one that the independent senators never got, yesterday you heard BTL Chairman Mark Helm Lizarraga say that they invited the senators to hear their presentation on the proposed SpeedNet acquisition, but that invite was declined. The independent senators, however, all say they never received an invite. So, did the invitation even exist? Well, tonight we know that the President of the Senate saw it. So what happened after that? Courtney Menzies put some of the pieces together.
Since the proposed SpeedNet acquisition first came to light, the social partners have been requesting additional information from BTL. Their requests have so far been ignored, or that's what they thought. Yesterday, BTL's chairman Mark Lizarraga revealed that they had invited the independent senators to the table, but that they refused the invite.
We've extended our hand to the independent senators. Have they come? No. We've extended on several times for them, and they refused. We sent a letter to the Senate, willing to make a presentation there. So we're willing, Paul, to meet with anybody that wants to truly listen. If you have your own agenda,
When we asked 3 of the 4 independent senators about that claim yesterday, they said they received no such invite. Following up on this last night, Senator for NGOs Janelle Chanona made an unusually plain-spoken post saying, quote, "For the public's information and official record, as an independent senator, I confirm that no invitation has ever been extended to me verbally or received by me in writing or via email or forwarded to me by any person or persons from Belize Telemedia Limited or from any third party at BTL's request. If such an easily verifiable statement can be said with such authority, it will make a reasonable person wonder, what else is also being inaccurately conveyed just as authoritatively?" End quote. This morning, BTL provided 7 News with a February 5th letter to the President of the Senate, Caroline Trench Sandiford, requesting, quote, "the opportunity to brief the honorable members of the Senate on a strategic proposal concerning SpeedNet Communications Limited." They also provided a screenshot of a response from the President acknowledging receipt, copied to the clerk, Clarita Pitch. The independent senators then requested a formal clarification from Clerk Pitch on whether any meeting request was ever sent. She responded, quote, "To date, the office has not received any invitations or requests for meetings from Belize Telemedia Limited or persons acting on its behalf addressed to the independent senators," end quote. Senators Janelle Chanona, Glenfield Dennison, and Kevin Herrera also reconfirmed to 7 News this morning that they had not received any invite. This morning, they also issued a press release stating, quote, "No invitation from Belize Telemedia Limited, verbal or written, has ever been received by any of the independent senators or their respective organizations at any point from any representatives of BTL or from any third party on BTL's behalf to discuss any aspect of the proposed acquisition of commercial interests by BTL," end quote. Additionally, in their press release, the independent senators stated that they have also signed and sent separate letters to the chair of the PUC, the AG, the chair of BTL, and the office of the PM to directly request information relevant to the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
We reached out to President Caroline Trench Sandiford, prompting a press release from the National Assembly. The 12-point release details the events that transpired between February 6th, when the President received the invite, and today. The release explains that on that same day, Minister Michelle Shabat announced a pause in the discussion relating to the acquisition. Then, the President, along with the clerk, discussed the best way forward. The release states, quote, "It was the decision of the President at the time, following consultation with the clerk, that while the matter was one of public importance and the request was to be granted, it was necessary to monitor the acquisition process to determine the appropriate date and time for scheduling the request. This determination would take into consideration the pause in discussions, the volume of matters before the Senate, other commitments of the National Assembly, and the approaching recess period," end quote. The release then adds that once a determination was made, they would reach back out to BTL to discuss a time and place and then inform the senators. It ends by explaining that now that BTL has approved the acquisition, the President will now respond to the CEO's request with a proposed date and time for an information session for the senators. In a notable aside, word reaching 7 News is that the independent senators are prepared to publicly debate BTL and its board of management on the acquisition in a town hall style. Meanwhile, the social partners dropped a cluster bomb of letters to the cabinet, the regulator, government's attorney, and BTL yesterday. Jaleesa Roberts takes a look at those 4 letters.
In the first letter to BTL Executive Chairman, Markham Lizarraga, they asked for public disclosure and due diligence, including BTL's commercial rationale, the due diligence undertaken, SpeedNet's 5 most recent years of audited financial statements, the anticipated public benefits and timeline, the effects on competition, pricing, investment, and consumers, and a plan to protect employees. In the next letter, they then asked the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission, Dean Molina, to publish the Commission's assessment of the acquisition's likely impact on competition, consumers, and the statutory objectives of the Telecommunications Act, and to allow meaningful public comment before any approval. They also asked the PUC to explain the applicability of Section 42(4) of the Telecommunications Act and any safeguards or conditions it may impose. And then, they asked the Attorney General to clarify the application of Section 42(4) of the Telecommunications Act, specifically requesting an authoritative interpretation of the applicable provisions of whether the proposed BTL SpeedNet acquisition is legally permissible. And then they asked the Prime Minister and the Cabinet to publicly state the government of Belize's position on the proposed acquisition, including why it is deemed a public interest matter and what measures have been taken or proposed to identify, disclose, manage, and mitigate an actual or perceived conflicts of interest. Yesterday, the Prime Minister offered this explanation of Cabinet's decision-making process.
Both we and the Cabinet, we've made a determination that we're going to invite these two, because these are the two main entities that I've been speaking about. The Chamber as the business representative for the business community, and the NTUCB as representative for labor. So we want to hear from business and labor. And so I respect their position, but at the same time, I hope that you respect our position.
Well, they don't, and these letters make it clear that the social partners don't plan to go into a meeting until they have the requested information in advance. Julissa Roberts, 7 News.
Joining me now to analyze the current state of play with the proposed acquisition is our news director, Jules Vasquez. Jules, after everything we've heard, this acquisition is increasingly becoming as much about a test of process and public confidence as it is about business. Can you tell me where things stand tonight? Let's unpack where we are.
Okay, so looking at it real quickly, I just heard the Prime Minister say, he will not agree to having all four social partners there. He only invited the NTUCB and the Chamber of Commerce. So he does not want the NIAB and the Belize network of NGOs. That is a stumbling block. So will that meeting happen tomorrow, on Thursday? He invited them into the cabinet. My prediction is it will not. What is the position of these social partners and the chamber? The position, Indira, is that we are not going into a meeting without seeing 5 years of financials. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about if we do not have requisite information? Now let's try to reconcile the two things. What the Prime Minister, I believe, wants to tell them is, listen, we can pull back this deal, but there will be consequences.
Okay.
Because Mr. Ashcroft will come with a lawsuit, and it will be expensive. Now, this is the old formula. We've always heard from the Ashcroft Alliance that they negotiate with a gun to your head. How it is that the government is in a state that it now somehow fears the prospect of a lawsuit, I am yet to be elucidated on. But the Prime Minister wants to tell them there are risks. But we are willing to go with you and reject it, but we all have to live with the consequence. Now, Mr. Ashcroft, in the meeting with the Social Security Board in April, he appeared virtually. Two of his executives appeared physically, Philip Osborne and Dean Boyce. And the specific threat, he told them Starlink is coming, so it would have a negative impact on BTL and the government. And he said that if they choose to continue to compete, SpeedNet will lower prices on BTL, reduce BTL's earnings, and everyone loses. But I want to be clear. This is Mr. Briceño's partner. It is the Briceño family who got the contract in 2000, the license to operate in 2006. It is the Brisenia family. It is they who later chose to form a partnership with the Ashcroft Alliance. The explanation given then, as I received it from the then leader of the opposition, was that we preferred to be shareholders in a successful company rather than owners of a failing company. So that's a decision they made. Now it has come to the crossroads where the competitive environment is changing, and they want out. Mr. Ashcroft wants out, and he wants the state to pay for it. This has been on the table, or the state-owned monopoly, I should say, the state-owned company. This has been on the table since 2020, and they just couldn't find the right time. And
So the
you
argument
realize
of
in politics,
saying that it isn't a monopoly is
yeah, well, I think that if the acquisition goes through, it absolutely will be a monopoly. There's no question. You can't start talking about, well, you know, they have other internet providers. Those are not data providers,
right.
Firstly, and second, they do not have the national network. Only NextGen has a comparable national home internet network. So I want us to understand that we're in a position now that's unprecedented. I have never seen 3 cabinet meetings to consider one thing. And that's because they already had a meeting in February where they took a decision which they chose to remain muted on. I have never seen 3 cabinets. So they're meeting on Tuesday. Tuesday they heard from Social Security Board and they heard from BTL and the PUC, silent to the public who it serves.
Let's talk about the PUC sequencing, Jules, because let us unpack PUC and their role in all of this.
Well, the PUC has a public responsibility to protect us, the consumers. They have been muted. And we have the picture of the board, the PUC board. They should have, I am sorry, and this is a judgmental statement, but they don't have any shame. These are the board members, all appointed by the Prime Minister of Belize.
We're putting the tail ahead of the donkey. Because if we're having government decide when it's the PUC as a regulator who should be deciding, then we're doing it in a reverse order, which clearly...
Yes, you are right, absolutely. These are the members of the PUC board. They have a responsibility to the public. They have remained mute. They sent out a toothless press release, but yet they will appear in cabinet yesterday to answer to their political masters. It's unacceptable to me to not speak to the public, to not assure the public that, listen, this runs afoul of the Telecommunications Act. So, in cabinet yesterday, they heard from those 3 actors. The PUC, mute otherwise, but they can talk in cabinet, BTL and SSB. And on Thursday, the cabinet was supposed to hear, or is supposed to hear, as far as I believe it's not going to happen, from the social partners. And then on Tuesday, they will make a decision. Never before. I have been studying or observing the cabinet for over 30 years. I've never seen one subject that should not even be on the table. Why should it not be on the table? Because it is self-dealing. It is a conflict of interest. Let me explain to you how nuanced the Ashcroft Alliance can be about a conflict of interest. They know about conflicts of interest. When they were forming an arbitral board to review the NEAC, the Waterloo Tribunal, it was called. Right. Waterloo Tribunal, because NEAC had refused Waterloo environmental clearance and they appealed to a tribunal. One person after another they put on the board. Ms. Fleming, they put, oh, that's a conflict of interest. They then put the Senator, Kevin Herrera, oh, his brother is an environmental consultant, Alan Herrera. He can't appear on the board either. Every person they appointed to that board, just because of some vague historical relationship or familial relation, if you can look at it, Kevin Herrera is a sibling of Alan Herrera, but has nothing to do with his business. But the Ashcroft Alliance objected and did not allow that appointment. So they know what is a personal conflict of interest. But the Ashcroft Alliance has no problem with the Prime Minister appointing the entire PUC, appointing the super-duper majority of the BTL board, all except one member was appointed by him, directly or indirectly. That's Eric Yuse, the representative for the small shareholders, who has not had any meeting with the small shareholders to inform his vote. And the Briseño family is the owner of SpeedNet and Mr. Ashcroft's partner. They have no problem with that manifest conflict of interest.
So you've talked about also the financial red flag. Let's talk about the accounting model that they've presented.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't reconcile with BTL's auditing numbers, any at all.
There are discrepancies. We have one leaked document, which I believe was the only document presented to the board. And I would be happy if other documents have been presented since. But there
it puts credibility on the valuation itself as it stands, even though it's a leaked document.
Yes, well, you know, that's one of the complaints that the chamber has made. They have not seen a leaked valuation. I'm sorry, they have not seen an independent valuation. Right. And later on in the news, we will have the story about what we take issue with between what was presented on the forecast that the board members saw and its incongruence, its lack of congruence with the audited figures. But if I could just finish one point on the cabinet issue, Julius Espat, who has been a vocal critic of not consulting with the board members, of not consulting with the true owners of BTL, as he puts it, which is the people of Belize. He left cabinet early on Tuesday. I want to underscore that. The week before, he was not at the House meeting, or the cabinet before, he also left early. Then after that cabinet, he was not at the House meeting. He had COVID, as I understand it. But I am just saying, Julius Espat not happy with them people. And I believe, based on my information, that a majority of the cabinet members do not support the acquisition. The road ahead is fraught with political peril. And for what? What is truly to be gained? Truly to be gained, the Ashcroft Alliance gets rid of an investment it does not want, even though it boasts about the $20 million cash flow. They don't want to keep it. They're running from Starlink. Well, all of us have something to run from. Every business faces some competitor that is awesome and tremendous. In the media, we face Facebook and Instagram. They don't pay tax and advertising on that. It's free. I wish I could run away from them, but I can't. We just have to stay here and take it.
Are you reaching, Jules? Are you reaching?
No, I'm just saying, this is what they're saying. Say you're reaching, Elon Musk is coming. Starlink is coming. We have to run. The fact is, if you have to run, you have your own hands to pray. Don't expect the state-owned. It's unrealistic. Right. It's unfair to impose it on the state-run telecom, which is partly owned by the Prime Minister's family, to say, no, you free us from this. So that is why the road ahead is fraught with political peril. That's why I believe a majority of the cabinet members do not support proceeding with the acquisition. And that is why I believe Julius Espat left the meeting early on Tuesday. And he left the previous cabinet meeting. He left the previous cabinet meeting early as well. And I will add to that, because I'm not assuming. He left the previous cabinet meeting, I am quite well informed, in a huff. And that was over SARA, the Autonomous Revenue Authority. So I'm just saying, there is already fissures of a fracture.
The burden falls on government to demonstrate that this was indeed a public interest decision, not just a political one, personal one, and commercial one. How are they faring in that regard? The groundswell says they're not doing good at all.
The groundswell says they are doing very poorly. It's consequential, and I'm glad you brought it up, that the unions have forged a common cause. And I believe the chamber will join them, or chamber members will join them.
They're not prepared
and it will
to
be
talking
a repeat
outside of each other. They're prepared to sit at the table all unified, not individually.
Of course. And it's beginning to look a lot like 2005, when there was unified, concerted, 2004 to 2005, unified, concerted resistance between capital and labor against the government of Belize. When capital and labor join forces, it spells trouble for politicians because those two sides should never meet. When they do, when they find common cause between capital and labor, bad news for politicians. Mr. Briceño is an astute politician. I really don't think he wants that deal so much in light of the risks, but he wants everyone to know, and that's what these cabinet meetings are about. He wants everyone to know we can go ahead and abandon this deal. We can abandon it, but there will be consequences because there will be warfare. And we have to understand, I will say this in as neutral a language as I can. The Ashcroft sword of Damocles hangs above the state's head for the third decade running.
Absolutely.
The vampire of the Ashcroft Alliance has not sucked sufficient blood from the people of Belize. Whether it be the accommodation agreement, the Sealer shares, the Sunshine Holdings, I have seen it all.
All of it.
And the vampire is not satiated. It needs more blood. And that is the news I believe Mr. Briceño wants to give those in the social partners and those in the cabinet.
Thank you, Jules. Ultimately, a transaction of this magnitude has to withstand more than political approval. It has to withstand public scrutiny.
BTL exists because the state paid the $600 million acquisition cost to the Ashcroft Alliance. BTL never had to book it. BTL is a very successful corporation because it never had to book that. So yes, there is a public calculus that is inescapable.
Thank you so much. We'll keep monitoring
Indeed.
what is known and what is not known.
What's been did and what's been hid.
Before we go, imagine leaving Belize when it was still British Honduras and never getting a Belize passport. It's real, and that's what recently came up at the immigration clinic in Illinois. We'll take you there when we come back. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
As a plumber for 25 years, I believe in quality, and that's why I shop for all my plumbing supplies at Benny's. Cheaper PVC pipes and fittings may save a little today, but leaks can cost much more tomorrow. And that's why I shop at Benny's, because quality is savings.
Quality is savings at Benny's. Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
The PUP is getting ready to use $30 million of your Social Security pension funds for BTL to buy Smart. Smart is owned by Lord Ashcroft and the Briseños. If the sale goes through, the Briseños will get $18 million. The PUP is always gambling with your Social Security money. Remember when Harry Courtney was charged in 1997 for theft of $3.34 million of Social Security funds on a questionable investment? Remember when Narda Garcia was fired as CEO of the Social Security Board in 2006 after a Senate Special Committee found she and the board had recklessly lent tens of millions of your pension funds to Glenn Godfrey-related companies? Remember when Belizeans rioted in the streets because the PUP forced the Social Security to lend $10 million of your pension money to the Ashcroft Alliance's Sunshine Holdings to purchase BTL shares? PUP, always gambling with Social Security pension funds for dirty deals.
The world is watching. The stakes are high. And with an Atlantic Bank credit card, your moments start online.
Bro, the tickets just dropped. I have my credit card ready. So how many tickets, guys?
We'll take two.
1, 2.
I want 3.
Go further, experience more. Make your online purchases seamless, secure, and in real time.
All right, let's buy the tickets now. What did you do, bro? I need to enter a password.
Oh, Atlantic Bank's credit card has a 3D secure feature to protect your online shopping.
Check your email.
Some transactions require an additional layer of security. 3D Secure adds an extra verification step. An OTP is sent to ensure it is you authorizing payment.
Guys, we got the tickets!
Yes! Your online transactions, made with Atlantic Bank credit cards, are fast, safe, and verified.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Write your story with an education loan from Atlantic Bank. Enjoy competitive interest rates, attractive repayment terms, and 2 deferred monthly principal payments, offering you added flexibility as you get started. Also, with every approved loan, you are eligible for a MasterCard credit card. To learn more, visit your nearest Atlantic Bank branch or scan the QR code to apply today. Your journey, our commitment.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
25-year-old maintenance worker Prince Copius is facing up to 7 years in prison after changing his plea to guilty today for the burglary of attorney Audrey Matura's home. The break-in occurred in April 2025 at Matura's residence on Chetamall Boulevard. Stolen items included a 9mm Ruger pistol valued at $3,500, a magazine loaded with 7 live rounds of ammunition, and assorted jewelry and cosmetics totaling $6,675. None of the stolen property was recovered. Police detained Copius after Matura's son reviewed surveillance footage and identified him entering through a second-floor bathroom window. Though his trial began in July, Copius changed his plea from not guilty to guilty today after being shown the security footage of the break-in. Copius is scheduled to be sentenced on September 8th. He faces a maximum penalty of 7 years in prison. 2 police officers have been sentenced to 11 years in prison for the 2023 manslaughter death of 25-year-old Andrew McDougall. Justice Antoinette Moore handed down the sentence yesterday to Officer John Lucas and Jaleel Lewis. The charges stem from an arrest caught on video outside a restaurant in Santa Cruz Village where Lucas and Lewis aggressively detained McDougall. McDougall, who lived with hemophilia, a genetic disorder that impairs blood clotting, died 17 days later from severe internal bleeding caused by injuries sustained during the encounter. Following their conviction for manslaughter, Justice Moore sentenced both officers to serve 11 years behind bars. Last night, a social media post went viral showing featured side-by-side comparison of 2 household water filters. One is a pristine white, while the other is caked in thick dark brown sludge. It was posted by Michael Singh, who stated that the clean filter is identical to the one which was removed from his primary BWS intake line after only 3 weeks of use. The image raised many comments about the quality of water BWS is providing and questioned whether it is healthy to consume. Well, today we spoke with Hugo Rancharan, BWS's water quality and compliance manager, who said that BWS water consistently meets and, in some key metrics, exceeds the water quality and microbial standards set by both the World Health Organization, WHO, and the American Water Works Association, AWWA.
Well, what we saw there was nothing new to us. We have experienced that in the past. And what we encourage customers is to, if they have any see any discoloration or anything like that, to please contact us first so that we could do an investigation. Yesterday we did start a post and we took preemptive actions and we did contact the person and we did corrective actions there. No?
So what went wrong?
It's not nothing wrong. It's something that usually is found within systems that are sourced by water treatment plants. In this case, our plant is at the Double Run, which is mile 17, and from there we source water from the Belize River. And then any surface water plant would go on the normal process of conventional water treatment systems, and then into the distribution systems. From there, then it goes to your home. From there, naturally, you'd find these things in terms of sediments and so forth, impurities, so to speak, because sometimes when you look at the water, it's very clear, but microscopically, when you look at it, they do have small particles inside. Nothing to be alarmed of, everything is safe, but over time, it's just like what we said in the morning, that you would put on a white shirt, and over time, it's get dirty by itself, no? It means that the filter is doing its job, and it means that we have, so to speak, good potable water going into your home.
Okay, so one of the concerns by persons is that this is the kind of things that they're consuming. And so how do you all respond to that?
Well, they're not necessarily consuming that to that point, but nevertheless, we do ensure through quality assessment and quality control that on all the water samples from different areas that we have in Belize City are conformed to WHO standards and even to AWWA standards, which we hold accountable for. We do have independent assessment from the Public Utilities Commission and from Public Health that do assessment in our systems as well.
So can you guarantee the public that the water is safe to consume without a filter?
Yes, the water is safe to consume for potabilization, but there are persons, such as the one that you saw in the post, that prefer additional treatment. So they may do that as well to further purify the water. But we as BWS mandate to some extent and to a degree send potable water throughout the distribution system, which at some point has to meet WHO standards and at some point is mostly for potabilization, meaning hygiene, etc. And you can drink the water. Yes, it's safe.
He adds that the water is purified by a 7-step system the company has in place at the Double Run facility. And in news about the quality of water that goes to that Double Run plant, yesterday you heard the chief environmental officer say that they're still investigating the cause of the massive fish kill in the Belize River, which also affected animals such as hikiti turtles and crocodiles. So far, the speculation is that it may have originated from Santander or an apparently illegal rice farm in the area. Anthony Mai explained that it wasn't a disease, but likely an organic load or toxins that enter the water. Today, the research director at the Savannah Field Station in La Democracia, Dr. Donald McKnight, who made his own fact-finding tour and assessment, told us that it is definitely something unnatural that got into the water. He spoke to us via Zoom.
It does look like those deaths were probably caused by a toxin rather than just by a lack of oxygen. Obviously, turtles and crocodiles can breathe air, so a lack of oxygen in the water wouldn't kill them. And necropsies on the hikiti especially showed that its liver looked like it had failed, like the liver was very yellow, and showed signs of liver toxicity. We're now trying to really identify where this actually came from, which is challenging. It looks like something entered the system. It doesn't look like this was just a natural thing that happened in the river. Belize River doesn't really have big algal blooms in the channel itself. Algal blooms usually happen in stagnant water that's not flowing. And Belize has a high enough flow rate that we don't really see this like big dangerous algal blooms in the river itself. So it looks like something entered the waterway. So an organic load can trigger large algal blooms with nitrogen and phosphorus entering the system can cause algal blooms. So you could have runoff that causes it, but again, the Belize River system is not a system where that usually happens. I'd be more suspicious of something like an algal bloom happening in a retention pond somewhere that then empties into the river. And so the thing to keep in mind with algal blooms is that one of the many ways that they kill things is because the algae release toxic chemicals. So it's not trying to say it's either an organic load or a toxic chemical. It can kind of be both because the organic load can cause an algal bloom, which causes toxic chemicals. But either way, it seems like it was something that entered the system, which I think is the really key point. As far as who's responsible, so I've just this week went up to look at that rice farm from Laboring Creek, and for sure what's happening there is a problem that's clearing right up to the edge of the river or up to the edge of the creek. It's not clear yet if it was Santander or the rice farm. There is a canal coming off of Santander's. I think it's coming off of Santander's property. It's a little hard sometimes to tell exactly where things are originating, which some residents from the Community Baboon Sanctuary visited several days ago, and it had a really high flow rate coming out of it. And then when I went several days later, There were a number of fish skeletons along it, as well as a dead tilapia in the water. So maybe that's the source. But again, we're trying to piece things together after the fact. So it's proving quite challenging to really figure out exactly where this originated.
Imagine moving to the United States with a British Honduras passport and 45 years later never once owning a Belize passport. That's the reality of some of the Belizean Americans who attended the Immigration Mobile Passport Hub in Evanston, Illinois from August 7th to the 9th. Those living in or near the area who needed to renew their passports or get a Belizean passport for the first time in their lives had the opportunity to do so without leaving the U.S. Jose Sanchez has this report.
The Immigration and Nationality Department held an activity to reach Belizeans in Illinois. Over 305 Belizeans applied for various services offered by the department. It was an entire office as the officers explained the process from start to finish.
Okay, so my role here will be to welcome individuals who come in for service to collect. I will be collecting and verifying their basic information and identifying the service they will be accessing. I will make sure their information is properly recorded and that they're directed to the appropriate service.
So we are the second station that you will be seeing. Basically what we're doing here today is we're doing acceptance for passport applications, both renewal and first issue. Do bear in mind that you can also get your passport if you are submitting for a nationality as well. Basically what you will need to have for us at our station is your passport application along with one passport size photo and any form of identification, whether being a Belizean ID or a US ID. The fees for our passports are as follows: 250 US for both first issue and renewal, and 300 US for last passport.
After making payments at the cashier, you're going to come to the biometric capture station. Over on this side, you're going to verify your information to make sure that your name is spelled correct, your date of birth is correct, place of birth, and gender. Once you verify that the information is correct, you're going to sign over here on the pad. Once that is done, you're going to come and take your pictures. We follow the ICAO standards. So that basically means we need to see your full face. If your hair is covering your forehead, you will need to move it to the side. We need to see both ears. No smiling, no glasses, and then we'll take your picture. After your picture is taken, you'll move over here and do a signature. The signature will go on your passport, so you can take your time with this one, and then we move on to the fingerprints. We'll capture your all 10 fingers.
Okay, here we're at the nationality acceptance station. So we basically taking applications for nationality by descent, which is persons born to Belizean parentage. So you would have to provide documentation to prove such. And once everything is in order, we take your applications, you make payment, and it starts the process for you. A basic package would include a completed application form, your birth certificate, your ID, your parents' birth certificate or their proof of citizenship, along with an ID from them. You need 3 photos, and the applied fee goes along with it. Once all is in order, like I said, it goes through the process.
Some passport holders held documents from the long-gone era of British Honduras.
I had the British passport, the British Honduras passport. That's before they changed the name to Belize, I guess. But then in '81, we got the independence, and that's the year I left, the end of that year. It was very convenient that you guys did this. I didn't even know it's so easy, make it much easier, because you had all the technology stuff set up, and everything just went 1, 2, 3, as long as you had all your forms. Fingerprint, picture, that, it went a breeze, it went fast to me. It was fun, I feel like I'm at home seeing everybody that's Belizean. It felt good, I feel like I'm just visiting my own people.
My name is Carol Yvonne Usher. I was born in Belize City, British Honduras. All the work I've put in the United States that I now have retired, I want to go back to Belize and live. So I'm getting my passport updated today, my new one.
How do you feel? Do you feel more proud now that you finally got You know, you've moved on to a Belize passport. And what do you think of the new one?
Oh, I'm gonna be more proud of this new one because of all the different features of this new passport. When I first left Belize until I went back in Belize, everything is just changing, evolving, better, you know, and Belize is really building up. So I decided when I retire, I want to go home and, you know, just live a peaceful life.
Me and Emil Bevans, to those who don't know, Fort George Division, the richest division, poorest people. Been in America over 14, 15 years, enjoying life, but at time to come back home on my roots, my soil. Basically, the experience today with the diaspora clinic, 100%. Perfect. Little bit of glitches with computer, robots do that, but at the end of the day, everybody left here satisfied. I have never seen a disgruntled customer tell the donut stand gone, everything gone.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Romero. I am originally from Belize, but now living in Lyons, Illinois, and I'm here today at the Hilton Hotel in Evanston for naturalization by descent for my boys, as well as their passports. And it's been a great experience.
While some were passing along the heritage to their children, others are also ready to come back home. Jose Sanchez reporting.
And there was also a land clinic in Evanston to help Belizean Americans with any questions or processes they needed to complete. The lands commissioner explained more.
We're doing a land mobile outreach for the Belize diaspora group. The outreach is to complete the cycle. Belize on a smaller scope is people living within Belize, and the wider scope is Belize universally, whereby we reach out to people not only in Belize, but if you're a Belizean, you are also Belizean if you're abroad. We have positive feedback from all these people. They are more than happy that we are here. We are here and we have like an entire staff. We are mobile. We're on the road. It's just like we are bringing the office outside. So we have the full staff. So we could go from application right up to purchase, and in some instances we can deliver titles. Not in all cases, but in some instances we can. Land is one of the general thing that Belizeans or people in general all over the world would like to have a piece of. It is what we're living on. It is finite. It is getting smaller because we issue, and you cannot replace land. So it is of high interest. People or the general public would say that it's the best form of investment. Land is the best form of investment. So we try to reach out. People use land for different reasons, for mortgages, they use it for investment, as I said before. So we have Belizeans that are out here that has land in Belize, and they want to apply for permission to survey. They want to apply to purchase that piece of leased land that they have, and there are various reasons. Also, we have people that are living here that have never applied for a piece of land before. They are first-time applicants, and we have a high interest in having every Belizean that is legible to have a piece or parcel of the beautiful jewel of ours, as we usually say, we widely say.
Well, first I want to extend my sincere thank you to the Lands Department for coming out, for their willingness to come out and provide these essential services to our nationals living in the Midwest. It's a tremendous convenience for them not having to go back home to resolve any land issues, pay taxes, apply for lands. So we are extremely grateful to have them, the government, provide these services to our nationals living abroad.
When we come back, we'll revisit some of the controversial statements made by the BTL chairman in yesterday's lengthy interview. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Yesterday, when we caught him in front of the Sir Edney Kane building, BTL's chairman Mark Helm Lizarraga shed much needed light on many aspects of the BTL acquisition that have not been publicly ventilated. But he also displayed an uncompromising conviction, leaving the distinct impression that anyone dissenting on the deal's merits was either mistaken or misguided. Tonight, we look more closely at some of his remarks.
Yesterday, the BTL chairman held forth for half an hour, explaining to the press what he had just told the cabinet, that for all those who have eyes to see, this is a good deal.
That this makes economic sense, that it makes sense for the company and the shareholders. You know, if you really want to listen and you really want to be objective, you'll get it. Okay? That's all I can say.
But the chairman's sweeping remarks have come under scrutiny. First, he said BTL has no debt, had paid it all off.
We've repaid all the debts that we found. We settled all the loans that we had on the books. We've paid it.
But when we checked the financials, it showed that the chairman's blanket assertion that all debts are cleared omits nearly 20 million in live, scheduled borrowings confirmed by the company's own auditors. Certainly manageable, but why misrepresent? And the BCWU's numbers were also misrepresented. After the union withdrew support for the acquisition in a meeting last week on the 6th of August, Lizarraga downplayed that, saying that only represents 31% of actual staff who are not in support of the acquisition.
Now they represent a portion of our employees, and when you look at the numbers, 31% of the whole staff body that they're talking about said no.
Strictly by the numbers, 166 no votes out of 544 total company employees does equal 31%. However, the BCWU only has 328 members, meaning more than half of the actual union members voted to reject the acquisition. The chairman's double standard becomes clear when compared to January 2026, when the union supported the acquisition. At the time, BTL management proudly proclaimed in a press release that 79% voted yes. If the chairman applied his current logic, measuring the vote against all 544 employees, that yes vote would actually represent just 47% of the company's employees. Yet yesterday, he continued to claim that 80% of staff had approved it.
And the whole staff body, the majority said yes, go ahead.
Almost 80%.
Yeah, 80% of our staff body said yes, go ahead.
Two things can be true, but the chairman is trying to have it both ways, and that can't be true. And then, inexplicably, he snapped at our journalist who was asking about this leaked document, one of the only ones which was shared with board members.
And why did Moore's model not consider BTL's audited financials of 2024-2025?
Who said that? Don't paraphrase and read from every person that sends you junk.
And while the CEO dutifully chuckled, BTL's own audited debt, revenue, and profitability figures do not follow the patterns Moore's model projects, because Moore's model never used them as its starting point. The audited accounts record revenue of $154.9 million, an EBITDA margin of 42%, and a net profit margin of 18%. Moore's projections open with $163 million in revenue, $8.1 million higher than the audited figure, while projecting EBITDA margins of just 38% and net profit margins of 12%. The debt position of $19.7 million confirmed in the audited balance sheet finds no corresponding reflection in the model's assumptions. And then the chairman famously said this about those independent senators.
We've extended our hand out to the independent senators. Have they come? No. We've extended on several times for them. And they refused. We sent a letter to the Senate, willing to make a presentation there. So we're willing, Paul, to meet with anybody that wants to truly listen. If you have your own agenda...
The senators have since made it clear that they received no invitation And we can also see that the independent senators specifically were not invited. And then there's the tricky matter of the acquisition costs. The chairman was clear on that, and maybe for the first time in history, both the seller, which is the Ashcroft Alliance, and the buyer, BTL, are in perfect alignment. The acquisition cost is $80 million, financed at 4.5% over 4.2 years. That's what Lord Ashcroft put in his release in January, and what the chairman faithfully repeated yesterday.
What are we looking at when it comes to the total cost of the potential acquisition?
The negotiated sum so far has been 80 million pending final due diligence. That's the price.
Across how many years will it be paid back?
We estimate that it will be paid back over 4.2 years. The first year being interest only, and then the remaining period would be at 4.5%. But we calculate that it can be done in 4.2 years, and that's been substantiated by 3 independent bodies.
On the surface, it seems simple enough, but when we account for the repayment of the loan notes and the associated financing charges, the acquisition cost increases by potentially $13.2 million, bringing the total to $93.23 million. A prudent investor using a monthly repayment schedule rather than annual repayment would save approximately $1.4 million in interest. And when the integration costs and the transaction fees are all included, the true economic cost of the deal approaches $100 million.
Turning now to regional news, Belize's highest court, the Caribbean Court of Justice, is facing an unprecedented internal crisis after explosive leaked emails reveal that 5 of 6 sitting judges have accused CCJ President Winston Anderson of dictatorial rule, panel fixing, and anti-democratic leadership. Last night, the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission, which appoints judges to the CCJ, issued an official statement acknowledging the serious allegations concerning the administration of the court and the independence of its judges. It says, the Commission recognizes the seriousness of these matters and the importance of addressing them in a manner that protects public trust and confidence in the court and the broader administration of justice throughout the Caribbean. As a result, the RJLSC believes that these concerns are best addressed through the established internal governance mechanisms of the court and the Commission, and through a transparent and independent review undertaken in the best interest of the region. And with far greater urgency, a statement from the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Bar Association and the Organization of Commonwealth Caribbean Bar Associations calls for urgent investigation into the CCJ crisis. In a joint statement issued today, they described the public disclosure of internal correspondence as disturbing and called for an immediate investigation into its source, including a thorough review of the CCJ's technical, security, and computer systems to determine whether the information was intentionally leaked, accidentally disclosed, or obtained through hacking. The associations also called for the allegations circulating publicly to be urgently examined for their accuracy, urging the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission to facilitate a responsible process for addressing the concerns. The associations urged the CCJ's judges to engage in frank and open discussions about any genuine internal concerns, with assistance from the Commission, former CCJ judges, and other relevant parties. They also offered to help facilitate mediation if necessary. And being a lot less moderate, the president of the Jamaican Senate said the matter is troubling and should be taken seriously. We have a portion of this report from the Caribbean Communications Network Television 6 in Trinidad.
Jamaican Senate President and King's Counsel Tom Tavares Finson said nothing less than a public inquiry is required to deal with the issues facing the CCJ. Tavares Finson issued a statement earlier today to the media warning Jamaica in making any decisions to make the CCJ its final appellate court.
It would be extremely reckless for Jamaica to decide to join a court in which these interpersonal conflicts are raging and in which there is an allegation that panels are being struck to determine the outcome of cases. For Jamaica to even consider joining such a court would be extremely reckless.
For King's Counsel Tavares Finson, he said it would be unusual for a court not to have interpersonal conflicts. But the Jamaican Senate President says of all the issues raised, there's one which is troubling and must be treated seriously.
The issue concerns an allegation that panels have been struck with a view to determining the output of cases. And that to me is a very dangerous development if it is true. One of the judges indicated that he was to sit on a particular panel, a case of particular note and relevance to Jamaica, and he was removed from that panel.
The Sunday Express reported exclusively this week about a series of allegations of dictatorial tendencies in the running of the court, as well as allegations made by several judges of panel fixing and interfering with the outcome of cases purportedly by CCJ President Justice Winston Anderson.
And finally tonight, the Belize Forest Department issued a warning yesterday urging residents, visitors and businesses to stop feeding, approaching or interacting with crocodiles after a recent human-crocodile encounter in Keokuk. But less than 24 hours later, a video posted on Facebook shows why the warning is not just necessary, it is urgent. It shows a group of individuals in Keokuk taunting a crocodile, striking it, throwing items at it, and generally just harassing the animal, behavior that directly contradicts the safety guidance issued by the Forest Department, ACE's Wildlife Rescue, and the Crocodile Research Coalition. The authorities have made clear that crocodiles should never be fed, approached, touched, provoked, or encouraged to interact with people. While no one was injured in the recent Keokuk incident, such encounters can quickly become dangerous when crocodiles begin associating people with food or human activity. That's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great evening and join me back here tomorrow at 6.